Hey, let's start with the play that's got the kingdom buzzing. Jalen Royals' kickoff return in the second preseason game where he ripped through traffic and took the ball all the way to midfield. That sequence was more than a highlight. It was a mini audition. In one burst, you could see the speed that separates him from other rookies, the suddenness to hit a crease, and the vision to pick a lane when defenders closed in. Preseason moments can be misleading, sure, but when a rookie shows instincts in space and the willingness to make contested moves, coaches take notice. The other thing that jumps out is how calm he looked doing it. Not flustered, not overly excited, just decisive. That's the kind of body language that helps a player earn trust fast, and it's why people are already comparing him to bigger names. Now, I don't want us to get carried away pretending one return tells the whole story, but it absolutely tells a useful story. Royals can impact special teams the moment the season starts, and that gives him a clearer path to meaningful snaps on offense. Quick question for you. Did you see that return live? Type yes if you did or no if you missed it, and tell me why you think that play mattered in one sentence. Also, if you're enjoying this breakdown and want more short, sharp Chiefs analysis, subscribe and help us push toward 5,000 subscribers. That's the kind of goal that gets us better guests and more video coverage for you. For now, keep that image of Royals darting upfield in your head. It's the kind of highlight that changes conversations in the locker room, and it's exactly the reason I wanted to open here and build on what he showed when the pads came on. From that opening jolt, let's zoom in on how a moment like that even becomes possible. Because a return to midfield in August is usually built in June and July. What you saw on that kickoff wasn't luck. It was the residue of boring, repetitive camp work, tracking the ball cleanly, hitting landmarks, and learning how special teams coach Dave Tube wants the wedge set and the cut timed. Royals has been stacking small wins, fielding drills where the ball doesn't die on the turf, install periods where he nails the assignment, and scout team reps where coaches see he understands leverage. That matters with Andy Reid's staff. If you do the little things at tempo, you get more chances, and chances are oxygen for a young player. It's also about chemistry with the quarterbacks. When a receiver consistently finishes routes, flashes his hands late, and comes back to the ball on broken plays, quarterbacks remember. Even if those looks don't show up in the box score, they build a quiet trust that pays off once the lights hit. That's part of why one splashy return can feel bigger than it looks. It confirms the picture coaches were already seeing on the practice fields, a rookie who processes fast and plays faster. Another piece is composure. Camp can get messy for due. First-year wideouts, missed sights, hot reads, and spacing issues in option routes. Royals doesn't need to be perfect. He needs to be predictable. If the staff can trust where he'll be at the top of a route and trust he'll make the first guy miss in space, they can script touches without feeling like they're gambling. That return suggested he's in control of his pace, not just running hot. And when you combine pace control with competitive toughness, running through contact, keeping pads, square, finishing forward, coaches start thinking about packages, jet motion to stress the edges, quick hitters to force corners to tackle, return game to tilt field position. The path from camp to preseason is exactly that. Stack habits, earn a role, then let a play confirm it. None of this means he's suddenly a top 3 target. It means he's becoming useful, and usefulness is how you make a 53-man roster on a championship team. Be the guy who flips the field after a defensive stand. Be the guy who takes a shallow crosser and turns it into a first down on 3rd and 6. Be the guy who knows the landmarks on a scramble drill when Patrick rolls right. If Royals keeps checking those boxes, the staff can trust him in real snaps without redesigning the offense around him. Quick check-in for you. What impressed you more so far? His poise on special teams or the flashes on offense? Drop ST or WR in the comments so I can see where you're leaning. And if you want more of these, camp-to-game breakdowns that cut the fluff and go straight to what actually gets a rookie on the field, hit subscribe and help us push to 5,000. Every sub pushes the algorithm to put more Chiefs content in front of you. Now let's talk about the Rashee Rice comparisons, because I've been seeing them pop up all over fan discussions, and honestly, I get it. Royals has that suddenness off the line, the ability to slip a defender in the first 3 yards, and the toughness to finish runs with bad intentions. Those are traits Rice showed early on, too. But here's the thing. As tempting as it is to link them, we've got to remember that Rice earned his role by producing in real games against top defenses down the stretch, and he did it while being asked to carry heavier offensive loads than most rookies get in Andy Reid's system. Royals isn't there yet, and that's not a knock. It's just the reality of climbing the ladder in this offense. That said, the parallels have a purpose. They keep the conversation framed around upside. If Royals can carve out even a fraction of Rice's impact from last year, that's a huge win for Kansas City. The Chiefs aren't looking for him to instantly be a 1,000-yard guy. They're looking for him to make defenses respect his speed, create space for Kelsey, and punish teams that overcommit to stopping the run. The Rice comparison gives fans a shorthand to dream big, but Royals' own story will probably be different. Maybe it's more about hybrid value, between special teams and a few high-leverage snaps on offense, rather than a steady diet of targets. What really makes Royals stand out, separate from Rice, is the way he operates in traffic. He's slippery in a different way, not just with hard cuts, but by subtly adjusting stride length to freeze defenders. That's a special teams trait bleeding into his wide receiver work, and it's something Rice didn't rely on as much. Royals has the potential to be that utility piece who can make a difference in multiple phases, which is a rare commodity in a deep roster like Kansas City's. So, let's settle this with a little fun. Do you think it's fair to keep comparing Royals to Rashee Rice, or do you think we need to let him write his own chapter? Drop a simple compare if you're here for the parallels, or own story if you think he's carving a different path. And while you're typing that, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next time we revisit this conversation, mid-season. The only thing more fun than a preseason highlight is coming back months later to see if we called it right. Here's where that return really starts to matter. Special teams is the doorway, and Dave Toub guards the hinges. When a rookie flips the field, he changes the math for the entire team. The defense can blitz more freely because a short field is less punishing if a drive stalls, and the offense gets earlier red zone entries that hide some of the clunkiness that can show up in September. That's why a play like Royals' return isn't just a clip, it's a resume line. If he consistently gets the ball past the 25, steals a first down of field position, or forces kickers to squib and shorten their approach, he's creating value every Sunday even before his first target. That kind of repeatable edge is exactly how a fringe guy becomes a roster lock on cutdown day. The receiver room is crowded, no doubt, but Kansas City has always kept roles, not just names. A vertical stressor, a chain mover, a motion piece, and a returner who can be active on game day without telegraphing personnel. Royals can check the last box while auditioning for the others. Add in gunner work, sprinting, stacking, and finishing in space. And he can justify a helmet even if the offensive plan is slim in week 1. And if circumstances shift, an injury, a package adjustment, or discipline-altering snaps, special teams gives him the on-ramp to real offensive usage without a full rewrite of the script. The staff loves players who reduce variables. If Royals can be mistake-free on ball security, dependable with fair catch decisions, and aggressive without being reckless, Toub will bang the table for him, and that advocacy carries weight in late August meetings. Here's my quick challenge to you. If you had to choose today, where do you think Royals lands in week 1? Active 48 or practice squad? Drop just active or PS in the comments and tell me the one reason behind your pick. And if this kind of roster mechanics talk is your thing, make sure you're subscribed and help us push to 5,000. The more we grow, the more we can bring you detailed cut-down day coverage and film breakdowns that dig into how Kansas City builds a championship-ready 53. So, after watching that preseason flash and tracing the path he's taken from camp, the question becomes, what does this actually mean for the Chiefs' season? In the big picture, it means Kansas City might have stumbled onto another piece that makes them even harder to game plan for. Royals isn't stepping in to be the focal point of the offense, but if he can be a reliable field position weapon and a situational spark, that changes how opponents approach the Chiefs' depth. Special teams coordinators will have to account for him, which could lead to shorter kicks, more directional punts, and in turn, better starting spots for Patrick Mahomes and company. And if that better starting field position turns into just one or two extra scoring drives over the course of a season, that's a swing that can be the difference in playoff seeding. It also means that internally, the Chiefs may feel more comfortable leaning on young players in roles that matter. Andy Reid has shown over and over that if a guy earns it in practice, he'll find ways to use him. Royals' versatility, being able to threaten on returns, work from the slot, or be a motion piece to distort coverages, gives the coaching staff flexibility in game planning. And flexibility is gold for a team already loaded with weapons. It lets them mask injuries, rotate more aggressively, and keep their playmakers fresher for the postseason run. For fans, it's one more storyline to keep an eye on. Maybe Royals' role stays small, or maybe he's that under-the-radar player who makes a play in January that everyone remembers. That's the beauty of following this team. You never quite know who's going to rise when the lights are brightest. So here's my ask to you. Do you want me to do a deep dive video on Royals in a couple of weeks to track his progress? Just drop a yes or no in the comments. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button and help us hit our goal of 5,000 subscribers. Every single one of you makes it easier to keep producing the kind of Chiefs content you can't get anywhere else.